Einstein described matter as a form of energy, just as ice cubes, steam, and rain are all forms of water. Everything is made up of molecules, and molecules consist of atoms that are in a permanent state of flux. This constant movement creates energy, hence, every single thing, objects, animals, and people are constantly giving off the energy they're creating. Everything in our world is vibrating with energy. So, if you can learn how to marshal, nurture, and steer your own energy, discern and strategize how to engage and disengage with other people's energies, and reconcile with the energies of the world around you, you can begin taking back control of your life. You become the most in control of your personal destiny as possible. Practical Magic shows you how. Level 1 includes energy foundations and basics and are available to the general public for single purchase. Levels 2 and 3 are very advanced with homework and are only available via the Hierophant and High Priestess tier over on Patreon. Patreon.com/thearteagan. I'm sending you all of my very best photons, and I look forward to supporting you at any stage, at any point on your spiritual adventures that I may. Hello everyone, welcome to Arteagan Weekly Bread, your spiritual board meeting. I am your Madam President of the Arteagan, Natalee, spelled Natalee. Feel free to stay for all of the psychic, tarot, and astrology reports. Feel free to skip ahead as you are guided. I hereby officially call this meeting to order. Welcome. And as I was actually doing this, a card fell out. I heard a little splat, and it turned out to be a love oracle card. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. I will save this for the tarot report, but that's what came out, like before we even got started. So let's move on into the President's Report. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful week of life. Here's the thing. I'm going to talk about, for the Astrology Report, I'm going to talk about the eclipses because I'm getting a lot of downloads and channelings and guidance and just feeling it. I'm feeling the eclipse energy. So I'm going to talk about that more so, and I'll kind of lightly touch on what's going on astrologically this week. How was your weekend? Because this was the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of November 2020. The 21st on Saturday, the sun shifted into Sagittarius and Venus shifted into Scorpio. And so I was pretty busy doing life that day, and that, for me, it was really quite incredible. I had such a great mid-Friday to the early morning hours of Sunday morning. Was pretty incredible. It was really my favorite part in a long time. So I had a great energy shift. I'm a Capricorn and Capricorn stellium, and a lot of you guys are also Capricorns. So I hope that the sun shifting into Sagittarius, it's let go time, surrender, let go, float. So I knew that was coming, and I was looking forward to it, and it just happened. It was really nice. So anyway, let's jump into the Astrology Report. So on Tuesday the 24th, we have Mercury at 19 degrees of Scorpio, trining Neptune at 18 degrees of Pisces. You guys know what I'm going to say kind of already. Neptune can be extremely spiritual. Neptune can be very deceptive. Neptune can be extremely creative. Neptune can be extremely romantic. Neptune's that higher octave of Venus. So it can manifest in any one of those ways. All you need to know that the energy is easy. It flows. It's there. There's no challenge. There's no obstacle. So if you want to channel that spiritually and block out some time to meditate that day, you can probably get some really incredible downloads yourself or make some sort of breakthrough spiritually, emotionally, or creatively. Or if you're having you can schedule conversations that day to go really well, and if you want someone to sort of soften boundaries and to be more receptive to what you're trying to say. And then really, there's not really that much else. I mean, there is, but let's see. The 27th on Friday of November, we have Mercury at 23 degrees of Scorpio, sextiling Pluto at 23 degrees of Capricorn. So what you were doing earlier in the week with softening those boundaries, you know, Mercury, Neptune, that can be a great day for creative conversation, spiritual conversation, overcoming some sort of obstacles and issues, having very healing conversations. It could be very romantic. It could be extremely spiritual. And then a few days later, Mercury will go on to sextile Pluto in Capricorn. So now these conversations are transforming life kind of in a real way, on a physical level. Wherever Capricorn is in your chart, in your life, there can be, because Mercury is the mover and the shaker too. Mercury is very much like on the go, and he's forward in Scorpio. And so everything that Mercury's been learning the past few months is being carried forward, is being finishing up before Mercury enters Sagittarius. So this sextile to Pluto and Capricorn is a great opportunity to solidify and mature any kind of new ideas, new thoughts, new processes, new mental processes that we've been sort of doing some cosmic surgery on ourselves in some area of life, as Mercury's been going through Scorpio and then retrograde, back into Libra, back into Taurus. So, and the oppositions to Uranus and Taurus. So it's been like a long journey for Mercury. And so this sextile is pretty good. Also on the 27th, the same day, Venus is at 7 degrees of Scorpio, opposing Uranus at 7 degrees of Taurus retrograde. So it's interesting that Mercury's been going through kind of dark night of the soul stuff and having to fumble a little bit with issues of possessiveness, jealousies, obsessions, and power at the center of it. How much power do we have over this area of our lives? How much power do we have of what other people do? How much power do we have of our own thoughts? How much power do we have over our own speech? Have you ever been in a situation where it was so hard for you to not say something so evil and so mean? Or was it really hard to say something positive? And was it, you know, it's that kind of frustration or that kind of feeling that people have been sort of, and it gets very specific for all the 12 zodiac signs with the other things going on. But this is a day on Friday that could be a really nice surprise with Venus Uranus. I have that aspect natally, so I'm more used to that energy, and I'm trying to think of how to describe it to you guys. It's sort of a flash of, okay, I can analogize this perfectly. So if you've ever walked by, you know, a store, or if you've ever been browsing through Instagram or online, the internet, and you just see something that strikes you and it's beautiful and you want it and you want to buy it, and it's like, it could be a bag or clothes or technology or anything. It could be a water bottle, but it's just, you know, the more romantic version of this is walking down the street and then you turn a corner and you just see like the holy grail of something like right in front of you. You see, I don't know, a car, you see a person, you see a wardrobe, you see items, you see a fair, you see something you want to buy, but it's something that you do like intensely. Actually, it could be kind of obsessive too because of Scorpio, Venus being in Scorpio. So you can have a very strong reaction to something you see on Friday, which is interesting because Mercury is going to be flirting with Pluto there. So anything that you talk about or anywhere that you're going, because Mercury can also be like travel and short distances, neighborhood type stuff. It could be quite transformative indeed. You could also just have revelations about your own love nature, affectionate nature, and it syncs up with, it's kind of like a healing, it's going to be a gift. I feel like it's going to be very positive because where Mercury was like retrograding and going back and forth and like tweaking out, bringing all these things to the surface of our awareness, all the dark little things inside of us that have issues with being nice, or have issues with waiting, or have issues with power, or have issues with other people, or issues with like whatever. Venus is now, Mercury's maturing and going to move on, but Venus is already in Scorpio. So she's already smoothing it over. She's already giving blessings and benefits to what we've already learned thus far. So when she makes that opposition to Uranus, it's like you can sort of like suddenly be broken out of some kind of restrictive pattern, or restrictive something restrictive. It ended there. Like it really just cut off. She just like cut me off there. I'm like, okay, fine. And she does that when she doesn't want me to ramble. She just pulls it like right out of me. So anyway, that'll be an exciting day no matter what, because Uranus is the only place where we cannot say what it's going to be, how it's going to manifest. Just expect the unexpected, expect to be delighted. Okay. And then on Saturday the 28th is kind of a big deal. That is when Neptune stations direct at 18 degrees of Pisces. So do I prefer Neptune retrograde or direct? Honestly, this is an outer planet that gives so many problems. This is the energy where you wake up 30 years later and I married the wrong person. Or you wake up and go, I'm in the wrong career. Or I really want to go do this. Or I really want to be this person. Or I'm really not even this identity that I built myself into being the past 50 years. I'm actually totally something else. This is what's going on in life right now with like the US and globally. There's a major distortion with perception going on. It's Neptune's fault. It's Neptune's fault. Neptune is foggy. Neptune, the highest of Neptune is love, spirituality, romance, empathy, caring for ourselves, caring for others, not needing to have boundaries because everything is so safe and wonderful and perfect, and everything really, really quite delightful and just really dreamy energy. Now the low manifestation of Neptunian energy and what we're seeing so very clearly is distortion, paranoia, and lies, deceit, deceptions, blatant lies and lying and gaslighting, where someone's making you feel like you are crazy and what you're remembering isn't right and you're just crazy. And so when Neptune is retrograde, kind of goes inside, but when Neptune's direct, it's like outside. It's like, honestly, it's like I don't want to say pick your poison, but everyone will have to work so hard at removing distortions. And now when I say distortions, of course it's politics, absolutely. But I want you to focus on you and yourself and your own life, because all that's going to just do its thing. And like, I'm not saying don't get involved if you're not guided to get involved. I'm not telling you what to do here. I'm just like your best friend in your head, or your mama bear, or whatever you want me to be to you. So I'm doing it because I'm saying this because I care about you. That's all. That's it. It's also like body distortion and our perceptions of our bodies, like body dysmorphia, or our perception of our relationships, and sort of like maybe you're convinced that the person you're married to, or the person that you're dating, or the person that you're with, like they don't really like me, or they're judging me, or something crazy. And I don't mean to say crazy like I'm accusing anybody of being crazy. I'm just saying that it's unrealistic, it's distorted, it's not, you're not seeing it clearly. So sometimes you really do see a glitch in the matrix. You see the cat walk by twice, but then sometimes it's not. And you know what I'm saying? Can you trust yourself is what really this is all about. And here's the thing. If you have that honest, pure intention inside of you this is like a shameless Arteagan thing, but like Arteagan, like our philosophy is love, truth, and integrity. So if you really align with that, if that is your honest to goodness, absolute soul alignment. Like that's what you want. Even if you have parts of you that are not that high vibrational energy, but you know you want to get there, you want to be there, you'll be okay. And you don't need religion, you don't need churches or pastors, you don't need me, you don't need anyone else on YouTube, you don't need anything else. You just need that. You just need that authentic, pure wish, that desire, that and it's going to be honest, and it's going to be pure, and that is what will align you. Then you get your own downloads, you start seeing things, you start to get help from the cosmos, you start to get things get put in your way, and you meet people, and you get led to certain books. Like the whole thing starts because you're on your own individual path, your own individual spiritual path. So Neptune stationing direct is going to kind of loosen and lift that veil over something that has been sort of obscured to us, something that we kind of weren't seeing it very clearly because the distortion energies were going inside of ourselves. So now that Neptune's going to be going direct, it's going to be more externally pointed is how I'm kind of seeing it. But it's also going to mean the return to power of distorting energies. So anyone that wants to use lies, anyone that wants to use distortion energy to do something, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so I still ramble. Anyway, so I'm just going to go right into the eclipse. So the eclipse is on Monday the 30th at 8 degrees of Gemini. Now, this is kind of cool because we have the penumbral lunar eclipse first in Gemini, and then a couple weeks later on December 14th, we have the total solar eclipse in Sagittarius. This is cool because something is ending in next week, next Monday. Really right now, we're like in that energy. And then we have the solar eclipse in the middle of December where something new begins. And that is pretty epic because the middle of December, I've been talking about for quite some time now, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be kind of crazy. It's going to be really crazy. Like we're really moving forward. We're really moving into the future. We're really moving, like you're going to feel it. Eclipse time is when massive life changes happen. So November 30th, December 14th. Have those two exact dates in your mind because every month there's a new moon and a full moon. Sometimes there's more than one, the blue moon of October. And that kicks off certain transits. It kicks off certain things happening in the outer planets that move a lot slower. Eclipses do the same thing. So like this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction with Pluto going to be kicked off again. Get another boost, another power boost. So all eclipses, whether they're lunar eclipses or solar eclipses, major life changes. This is when people get fired, get new jobs, move across the country, get married, get divorced, have children, get pregnant, lose children, bury family members, bury people they love, get out of big things, get into big things, major life decisions, big promises, that like all of that happens like during eclipse time. So eclipses also accelerate those things. It accelerates. So it's like if you were planning to move 6 months from now, you could be moving a lot sooner if that's like how your chart's working and that's how this is all affecting your energies personally. It speeds things up. Okay. So it's great that we have the lunar eclipse and then the solar because we're ending something and we're like, okay, great, done, thank you, bye. And then we're welcoming this beautiful, new, fresh energy, this new great thing. Whereas if it were reversed, we would get that great, fresh beginning, but there would still be some work to do of ending something. And I'm a Capricorn, so of course I like to delay gratification and do like the hard stuff first and get it over with so that I can actually relax and then enjoy that solar eclipse in mid-December. So I'm totally okay with this ending, whatever this is. So taking a look ahead a little bit, it's going to be squaring Neptune. So Neptune is going to be squaring both of the nodes, the north node and the south node. The north node is in Gemini, and that's where we're trying to go. That's really where we want to orient our solutions to problems. So instead of making a judgment, South Node and Sag, instead of thinking we know it all, South Node and Sag, we want to keep our options open. We want to keep collecting information. We want to stay open-minded. We also want to sort of compartmentalize. We kind of want to be able to hold two different thoughts at the same time. That's Gemini. Gemini is the Lover's card in the tarot. It's about being in two minds about something, thinking two completely separate, different things at the same time. That's why people will say, like, Geminis are crazy. It's like, well, no, maybe, but I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. And so now the eclipse in December is the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite with the energies of focus, because that eclipse will be with the South Node, which is in Sag, and that eclipse will be conjunct Mercury. It's going to be right there. So it's almost like there's this major flush, a flushing out, but also the birth of something, the absolute birth of actually anything, writing, speaking, publishing, anything different, foreign from you would be a really great idea after the 14th of December, because Mercury's right there. But back to November 30th, this eclipse is in Gemini, 8 degrees of Gemini, and it's being squared by, both of them are T-squaring, being T-squared by Neptune and Pisces. So what does that really mean? It means that there can either be a hard turn in your destiny of where you're going and orienting life, like you thought you were going this way, or you thought you were going to get there at some point or later, and then it's right there and we're taking this hard turn and we're like, argh! It's like that. Or you can be making decisions and taking actions that are totally 100% completely distorted, from a very distorted place of epic confusion that you don't know you're confused. That's what I don't like about Neptune, is that you think you're totally, this is it. This is it. This is it. Like, it's interesting because Neptune is very prominent in marriages, and when people get married, it's like they need to believe. They need to really believe that this is it once and for all, till death do us part. And it's like you kind of need that. You kind of need that belief that it's actually very fairy tale like. So that can work for you and give you this really strong motivation, really strong spiritual motivation to make a drastic change that you need to make, to let go, to align more with your path and destiny. Or it can work against you and deceive you and really confuse you. And we're going to see a lot of that as well. That's like the biggest thing for, oh yeah, and then it's also going to sextile Chiron. So there's going to be some wounds regarding taking the initiative and doing our own thing, and like self-individuating and pioneering and being confident as an individual, being confident thinking our own thoughts and being confident going our own way. That's going to be healed. That has an opportunity to be healed should we take that. And it could be going against something with that square, with that T square to Neptune. You'll have to really look and see what that's doing in your chart. I'll talk more about that later. And then on the solar eclipse for December 14th, the sun and moon are going to be conjuncting Mercury, and all of it's going to be trining Mars and Aries, which is extremely exciting to have this eclipse. It's like a beginning. It's a new moon, a new beginning, a fresh, clean slate that is so jacked and supported with like booster packs, and it's like a freaking spaceship of forward momentum and like going forward in life. So that'll be exciting. So whatever you're letting go of at the lunar eclipse, just let it go. Just let it go. Surrender, let it go. Trust is really what you want to do. And I just feel like I do have to give all these disclaimers about Neptune, because it's like I can say all of this, like trust and surrender, and spiritually aligned with all this, and you might go and do stuff that you think that's what it is, and it might not be. And the crazy part is there's no way to tell. Well, I mean, it's like, we're not going to get into the minutia of how to tell. I'm just telling you guys that you'll have to know it. You'll have to really, really know it. And I'm going to say, go ahead and do what you're going to do and let go of what you got to let go of. But more important, but don't start anything. Listen, this eclipse is going to rock your world. Both of them, these back-to-back eclipses, going to rock your world. So whatever, this is a great, this whole year has been a great energy for letting people go and cutting off connections and sending on its way what is not trying to be in your life in a positive frequency. So in every ending, there's a new beginning. In every beginning, there had to have been an ending. So I would say, remember, with everything with people, that you want to have context with them. So if you meet anyone brand new, that's where I'm going to say I wouldn't start anything with them, because it's not a strong, this hasn't been strong energy for meeting brand new people that you don't have context with. You really need to have known them in some way, shape, or form and have built something with, it's just a lot of Capricorn. This Capricorn energy is really like, wow. So there's that. Let things end. Let things kind of see where it's showing you. See what is changing in your life and what's trying to move forward and what you're wanting to move forward and where your focus is. And, you know, the eclipses are moving out of Cancer, Capricorn and into Sagittarius, Gemini. So these eclipses, it's not like the end all be all. There's like 2 years of this, just like we had a few years of Capricorn, Cancer. So what you're letting go of in this Gemini area of your life, you will keep needing to let go of and start and let go in big ways before this cycle finishes out. The galactic center is at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. I shouldn't even have said that. Now it's going to launch like a whole nother digression. I'll try to keep this more focused. And so the North Node is in Gemini, South Node's in Sagittarius. So this is the axis that we're going to be dealing with. And so what does that mean? It means that because Gemini is the duplicitous sign, we do understand and we do know that we can be in two minds about two separate things. And the example I'm going to use is the parent that says to themselves, I love my child. I love my child to pieces. I love my child more than anything in life itself. I love my child forever and ever and always, and nothing's ever going to change that, and I love my child. They can also think to themselves, I despise, I hate gay people. I absolutely can't stand it. And yet their child is gay. And yet their child... So they could think those two things. They could think that they love their child, and they could think that they are... And they could also be a hateful person towards marginalized groups of people. And they could hold those two thoughts. This is talking about Geminis is like the perfect example of cognitive dissonance. This is exactly the definition of cognitive dissonance. When your brain cannot connect something to itself. It just can't. It can't handle it. It'll just, okay. So that's Gemini, that can hold those two completely at the same time. And that's why Gemini compartmentalizes, is because they can't handle it. They can't handle reconciling those two things, whatever they're in two minds about. They just tweak out a little bit. And it's stressful, and that's why they compartmentalize. They cannot blend. They look to Sagittarius for that. Sagittarius is the one that says, you know what? I do love my child, and I do feel this way very negatively, and two things can be true at once. I can still have my opinions, and I can still love my child, and it's I'm gonna broaden a little bit because I love my child. I want to understand them more. So it kind of does bother me that I hold these two separate opinions. So let me just try to figure this out. Let me just explore more. Let me learn more. Let me gather more information, and let me build a whole new construct. Let me build a whole new philosophy where I'm not hateful, and I'm not, hurting my kids' feelings, and I'm not, causing all this drama and stress and what's that called? Alienation. I love my child. I want to be close to my child. I don't like being alienated from them. And I'm being honest with myself that that's what it's doing, is alienating my kid from me. I don't like that. So let me figure this. That's the Sagittarian way of dealing with the same like mental stress. So that's what we have going on with these eclipses for the next couple of years. And as you can see, both of those things wrapped up with this Neptunian distortion issue. This is going to be a rough Thanksgiving for a lot of people. This is going to be a Thanksgiving weekend that people stop talking to family members even more. And, people get into weird fights, or people, if they're trying to get together, if they're doing it over Zoom or whatever is going on, it's going to be a weird holiday. I don't know if people are going to be very grateful this year. It's, I don't know, with the T-square to Neptune, it's just really, Neptune's like throwing a huge wrench in both of those things, like into this lunar eclipse in Gemini. Neptune is sort of kind of like making you choose and putting a lot of pressure on how strong you are in your own perception of what's going on in your own world and in your own mind. It's like you're being tested to sort out fact from fiction, and to sort out your feelings from someone else's feelings, from some projected feelings, and you're being challenged to make a choice. And you can either go high and you can choose empathy and compassion and spirituality and creativity and love, or you can go low and you can choose paranoia and judgment and suspicion and accusations. So you get to choose. Everyone's got this choice. So that's the penumbral, and we're in this energy. We're like in this energy of this eclipse. So I recommend over this week ahead using that Mercury in Scorpio to really have honest conversations and be really direct, really straight with people. And I swear, like as straight as you can that's funny hearing me say that, because I'm always like that. Like I always talk so honestly. I can't even fathom not being so honest. It gets me into trouble all the time. But that's really what I recommend, because Mercury in Scorpio can also be coldly silent, where you don't say how you really feel and you don't give anything away. I wouldn't recommend that. That'll feed that'll feed neuroses, that'll feed suspicions and accusations and all that stuff. And then with Venus opposing Uranus and Taurus, I feel like that could be kind of cool. That could be way cool. Right before Neptune stations direct, Neptune will be direct at the time of this lunar eclipse in Gemini. So Neptune will be pretty like inspiring, where you're so inspired and you do know what you're doing and you do make a decision, because the Lovers and the Tarot is about making a choice. And it's like, I just saw it. Thank you. She's been showing me a lot of ancient civilizations and ancient symbolism. So I feel like I'm picking up either people's past lives or I don't know, something. But she's showing me this person holding two things, and then she drops one. So what she's meaning when she shows me that, what she's telling me to tell you, is that this lunar eclipse in Gemini is about dropping a choice, dropping an option, and making a decision and choosing. Because Gemini is like holding two thoughts at the same time. So like in my example, I would hope that as a parent, you would choose the love for your child over judgments and bigotry and lack of information and lack of knowledge and like all that other stuff. So this is a good ending energy to end that option or end a situation or end a choice and make a choice and to really pick something. It just has to be in the right perception. You just have to be in your right mind. I'm sending you guys all my lucky photons. Okay. And then for the new moon total solar eclipse, that's going to be 23 degrees of Sagittarius. That's what end what you've got to end, because you're going to be so focused. A couple weeks later, you're going to be in limbo a little bit. You might feel a little bit insecure, a little bit in limbo about decisions you're making and what's going on. If you are, just chill, wait for this solar eclipse, because that's going to bring in new, fresh energy into your life, and you're going to really feel energized and empowered to move ahead on something really important to you. Extremely so. And you might be frustrated because that Mars is still squaring Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter in Capricorn. So you may not be able to go as fast as you want. You may be still under restrictions, or you may still be feeling oppressed. You may still be feeling like you have to follow the rules, because that's just Capricorn energy. Capricorns are born to not achieve the material heights, but to achieve the spiritual heights and to achieve a spiritual self-power within the Capricorn self. So wherever Capricorn is in your chart, that has been going through your own personal Holocaust for like the past, since 2008, since 3 years ago, since this last year. The heat has been on. It's almost over. To all my Capricorns out there, we're almost there. We're almost through this. We're almost out, okay? We're almost there. I swear. So I'll talk about that more. I'm going to jump into the psychic report. So like I was saying in the psychic report, oh, I forgot to say this. I'm sorry. So this lunar eclipse in Gemini, I'll give you another clue. I'll give you a hint of what's ending. It's something that you were starting around the end of May. So something that you maybe started or became kind of an issue at the end of May, you're ready to let that go. You're ready to let that go from a more inspired, spiritually inspired place. And best of luck. Okay, let's luck to everybody. Okay, so end of May. Okay, so the psychic report. So she's been showing me this little, like, it's not little, it's this big, it's like a gargoyle thing. You know those bonsai things where they grow things in like a jar, and then it forms very smushed, like smushed features and very like smushed, and then it retains that smushed shape. It was like that, but a gargoyle, and it was like this little demon looking thing. And I think it's something that was depicted in ancient symbolism somewhere in some civilization, but in my vision it was like coming to life, like it was like snarling a little bit, and it was like kind of rustling. And what she was telling me about it is that that's the collective shadow self. I talk about the shadow self a lot more in last week's Scorpio Weekly on Patreon. That was some intense energy. So I'll give you a little taste of that. So she was telling me that that's like the collective, all of us plugged into the freaking central system. That's the collective shadow. And what that means when I say collective shadow, or your shadow, my shadow, their shadow, his and her shadow self, what I'm talking about, okay, this is how I like look at my life. I'm Batman. Like, okay, like every day there I am like Batman. I'm Batman. And then when I get a feeling or a thought that is low vibrational and negative and evil or dark or scary or something, that's my inner Joker. This is totally just like in Natalee land, analogizing it for you to comprehend and understand. So for me, my shadow self is like Joker, and my like good self is like Batman, is like I'm Batman. And so the collective shadow is really, it's interesting because she showed it to me as asleep, and I would not have seen it asleep like right now. But and what she told me as I was looking at it, I felt really sorry for it. And she said that it's not self-aware, it doesn't understand itself. And it was really sad because it's like, it's going to wake up and it's going to do stuff that's really painful for its own self, and it doesn't get it. Like, it doesn't understand itself. It doesn't understand like kind of like almost anything. So we'll see if that shows up in the tarot report. She was also telling me, this is so funny. So before the weekend, she kept telling me to look up. Like, look up, look up, look up, look up. And it was like a thing for me growing up. I'm so happy that I never have to go back to school ever again. Institutional trauma is just so like horrible. But I was getting in trouble in school a lot because they would accuse me of rolling my eyes, but I was just looking up. And okay, I did roll my eyes a lot, but I also looked up a lot. And so it's kind of like just something that I already do. And when I'm thinking, I usually look up into the astral place, like just naturally and reflexively. So I thought it was very strange that she kept telling me to look up because like I kind of do already. But get this. Saturday morning, I go to a fabulous brunch with my fabulous person. And she was telling me about this. She went into this whole thing about looking up and how studies show that when people walk and they look up, or you notice people that are looking up, they have like that, like a more uplifted view of life, and they're more relaxed, and their stress levels are way down. And you know, it's like getting outside of the minutia and the tedium of like the day-to-day worries and the day-to-day life, and that people that look down are always very negative and pessimistic, less happy, less feeling like they're in control of their lives, and you know, all that stuff. So it was a sync up. It was really interesting. So I'll be more curious. I hope that one comes through the channeling when we get into the tarot report. That would be really cool. I feel like that's like the positive one. We'll see what comes up. Let's go ahead and check it out now. The tarot report. Oh, I already knocked. Okay. So this came out like when I was just trying to start recording. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So I guess we'll start there for anyone who was wondering. The answer is, yeah, do it. Express your love. That would be a really positive way to channel this week's energy leading up to the Gemini lunar eclipse. This could even be between, this I feel like resonates more for someone that has like two options of being with someone, or if you're looking at two different people, Gemini energy, or if you're even just trying to make a choice between, am I going to like be with someone at all, or am I going to stay single for the rest of my life? Something like that. But whatever it is, you have two choices. There's two. Let's do like a thing here. Okay, let's do a grid. I'm feeling the grid. Right out the gate. The Knight of Cups, Romeo himself, right there. So this is kind of it. This is kind of your guided. So whoever is in that position, express your love. And that's exactly what the Knight of Cups does, is I don't know if you heard that. That was a really creepy siren. It was like a creepy ambulance siren. That's someone's third confirmation that you're supposed to express your love. Let's keep going. Oh, Seven of Pentacles. Okay, Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Chariot, Eight of Swords. I'm not going to take all that. I'm just going to take the Seven of Pentacles. This is one of two things. This is either that you've been investing in this for a very long time, or you're not quite sure if you want to start investing in this. You're kind of like, is it going to yield a fruitful harvest? Or you want to collect your harvest. Like you want to like reap what you've sown for a long time. Let's take a look. There's more expression. Oh, wow. Two wands. Page of Wands and the Three of Wands. So the Page of Wands, this is a very enthusiastic messenger. This is like my newsreel type energy. There's a lot of communication being dispersed and out there. It looks like it could potentially be about like the far future, like where you're really going in life. This is interesting because now we have two cards that have to do with sort of reaping what you sow, because at this point, he's sent out the ships waiting for them to come back with gold and to come back with, you know, the goods. So you could have been waiting a long time, or you could be trying to set something up for the future, for a really rich harvest later on. What else wants to come out? Uh-oh. I'm going to show you how I picked it up. I picked it up in reverse, the Five of Pentacles. So you're definitely not feeling left out. That's the exact opposite of what this is. So obviously they're all rejected and victim-y. This is not victim-y at all. This is very like welcomed and loved, and there's like a place for you. That's what I'm feeling with this, because this is where they don't have a place. Like even the church throws them out. But there is a place now that we have that. Let's take a look at the Knight of Cups, please. I am seeing the Lovers. Two of Wands. We have a lot of wands so far. This is very action. This is kind of action-packed, believe it or not. Probably towards the weekend, though. This Knight of Cups, this is about choosing a partnership, having the world in your hand, looking out, deciding, like, what do I really want? Who do I really want to build with? Is this really what I want? What's that going to make me happy? Seven of Pentacles. Tell me about the Seven of Pentacles. This either a long investment or a long wait. Again, Ace of Wands. I'm not taking a little of this stuff. Okay, the High Priestess. So whatever the answer is, you do know it. Whether you're asking yourself about a person, will this person bring, that sounds so Capricorn, will this person bring, a great return on investment? Spiritually, emotionally, lovingly, is this the right choice for me? Is this someone that it's going to last? Or it's the culmination of a lot of work that you've already put into a relationship, that you've already put into somebody. You do know the answer. With the High Priestess, she's someone that knows everything. She's been through heaven, she's been through hell. This is an energy of deep esoteric knowing, because she really is tuned in with like the higher energies and the higher frequencies. This could also be something kind of secret or private or hidden from view. Interesting. Okay, let's take a look at the Page of Wands and the Three of Wands, please. Thank you. Seven of Cups, and that's kind of funny. The Seven of Cups came out with the Knight of Wands. That's not Romeo. That's Casanova. All these knights. Casanova. This is very dreamy, to be honest. This is very... At least one of you is very romantic, if not both of you. Someone here definitely is. It's like very inspired passions, very lusty, but also it's like they're inspired for the future. Like they're really looking forward to that horizon. So I feel like this is something where you do see a long future with them. I was thinking, like, what's the opposite of history? And she goes, future. And I was like, thank you. Let's take a look at the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So there's news coming in. The Queen of Cups. I'm going to take it. It feels right. Oh, Wheel of Fortune at the bottom. The Queen of Cups, the Five of Swords, and the Emperor. This is weird. There's something else happening here. This could be part of the eclipse energy kind of coming through, where there's like kind of a cutting out, or someone gets left out, or someone kind of gets dumped or something. This could be that you're dumping someone for someone else type energy. Or you're dumping an option for a different option. I feel like this express your love. I feel like it's something that kind of changes everything, because I'm seeing a lot of what goes into decision making. So I'm seeing a lot of action, but I'm also seeing like waiting, or something like a heavy past a big future, and like, but right now is about communication with the Page, the 2 Knights, and this Express Your Love card. I'm not sure who this Emperor is. This is like the head honcho type person. If you're wondering whether you're going to get rejected, you're not. You will not be rejected. This is a true match type situation. And believe it or not, I'm getting that energy from these cards. From the 7, remember when I said it before about how you want to have context with someone right now if you're going to do stuff or do anything, that's what this feels like to me. This feels like someone that you've had context with, that someone that you've known for a long time, someone that, but they could be secret too. Or this could just be how they feel about you or you them. Okay. I will clarify just the 5 of Swords because it's like a very competitive, that's where the cutting out or cutting in, but I feel like it's cutting out a little bit. Maybe it is cutting someone in with the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Tell me about the 5 of Swords, please. It came out so fast. Knave of Wands again, and the Magician. Knave of Wands again, so that's the Page of Wands, and then the Magician who can do absolutely anything. So it's like this conversation happens, like telling someone how you feel, express your love, and out of that comes all of this building of the future. Like then it's like, okay, it's like you express your love and then you're both on the same page. You're both on the exact same page. And then you guys both talk a lot and build up, like you sort of like try to plan out the rest of your life type thing. And then out of all of that talking and talk comes, comes making it happen, doing it. The Magician with the Knave of Wands, acting out, like putting into action all the planning. But I'm not sure who these people are. The Emperor and the Queen of Cups. It could be working with a really big corporation or industry or platform or person. On the one hand, there could also be someone extremely intuitive and kind and helpful. There's helpful here. Kind of like in Romeo and Juliet, how that priest was helpful to the couple, kind of, with like good intentions, but that's kind of what these people are to me. This Emperor and the Queen of Cups. Helpful or... I'm going to leave that there. I'm just going to leave that there. Actually... no, I'll leave it there. Let's just get one more for you with Moonology, and then we will call it a week and get you guys nice and excited for those eclipses. Expect powerful change, new moon eclipse energy, as I just cut the deck. What's the guidance here? Don't let your past hold you back, South Node energy. Oh, this is funny. And luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius energy. At the bottom of the deck. Don't let your past hold you back. You might feel like this is all going to fail, but don't. South Node energy. The South Node is the end of the dragon, and the North Node is like the dragon's head, the dragon's face. So don't let your past hold you back is trying to say that it's like you need to poop out toxins in your energy and in your life and in the habits that you have and in what you do with your life. You have to expel all the things that do not serve you. And when you can't do that, when you just keep hurting yourself and when we just keep self-destructing and when we keep just letting our inner jokers run free and run amok, that's South Node energy. That's our past holding us back because it's familiar. It's familiar, it's comfortable, it's safe, it's really easy. It's the easier option, the South Node. So in this case, for whoever this is, express your love. The opposite is don't express your love. So letting your past hold you back would be not speaking how you feel. And because luck is on your side came through, it feels like you might feel like you're going to be rejected. And you need to hear, luck is on your side. That's all I'm going to say about that. And okay. Ooh, a fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries at the bottom of the deck again. So I would just go with it. But honestly, I always say how I feel and it just like always blows up in my face. So I don't know if you want to listen to me on that one, but the tarot is saying to do that. So tarot is saying express your love. I leave that into your capable hands. You'll have to take a look at your situation and what comes up for you this week and make your decisions accordingly. But to judge, use the South Node, North Node, Batman, Joker, what's comfortable, what's uncomfortable, out of my comfort zone, but growth and growing energy. And it should be very obvious, the Geminian choice that you're going to have to make. Okay. I love you. Take very good care. Thank you so much for your presence and for taking in these vibrations of this weekly spiritual board meeting and report. I appreciate you guys, and it's an honor to channel your energies and to help work through some of this stuff. There's so much I want to say, but I'm going to save it for my official lunar eclipse live stream on November 30th. I'll save it for there. I'll save it for that. If you guys like all of this stuff and all of my psychic spiritual goodies, there's oodles and oodles over on Patreon, and I have a goal set up. I really would love to have better recording equipment and for you guys to be able to see like the picture-in-picture, the spread, the table of all the cards, like as I'm talking. I think that's so cool. And more than that, I want to get the fancy schmancy equipment for recording poltergeist activity and paranormal activity. So help me reach my goal, please. Go over on Patreon, and it's all there. I do weeklies, monthlies, classes just about every single week, and that's about it. I'm still doing. Did you hear that? It's the someone here has a motorcycle. Sorry. I forgot what I was saying now. I guess it's, oh yeah, that's right. I'm still doing psychic spying. It's on my website, although I really recommend either Patreon or Keen. They're both lower price points, but Keen's a way lower price point for other psychics, and you can try different people out, see who you resonate with and how that goes. So other than that, you guys, I hereby officially adjourn the meeting. Sending you guys all of my love, all of my light. Take really good care, and I will see you next week. Until then, my loves, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads.